Hi, welcome to Building SaaS with Python and Django. My name is Matt Lehman, and on this stream we work on building Django apps. We're going to continue on my journaling app that I've been building for a few months now, and we're getting close to turning it on so that others can sign up on their own. It's been a process where I have made the site work for myself, and we've done some steps to get Stripe set up and all of those other bits, and we wanted to get far enough where somebody could sign up independently and have a fighting chance of eventually paying for the service, because it is a software as a service that people would ultimately pay for if they want to continue to use. If you're new to the stream, this is a journaling application that works via email. So it sends email out, sends out a prompt, a daily prompt that says, hey, what was your day like? And you get to respond via email, and it records your journal that way. The unique catch about the application is that each prompt responds with a previous entry. So over time, as you put more entries into the system, you get reminded about things you did in the past, which is what makes it fun and enjoyable to use the application and just get little reminders of how your life has been going as you've been recording it in your journal. We are at a stage where we're at these last couple of steps on this milestone, and this is what is the point at which we're going to be able to turn this on for other people. You're welcome to ask me anything about Python, Django, or web development. That's why we're here. But otherwise, we're going to try and check through all of these things. Successful stream this time looks like getting all of these 3 items done and hopefully turning the site on for everyone that is using it, using some dynamic enforcement of how many people can be on at once. So let's get to it. I think do we have any pull requests first? Oh, good, there are none. That's nice. So there's no automation stuff to merge. So let's focus on this one. We have this idea that I'm using SendGrid to send out emails. SendGrid provides a certain number of free emails per day. Let's see, SendGrid free tier emails. I don't remember the number. I think it's like 100 per day. Yep. So it was just in that preview text there. So we're on the free plan right now. And I don't have any complex needs for this application. I don't need a lot of stuff. But you can see down, well, maybe it doesn't show it on this thing with all the features. There it is. Eventually it'll tell you how many emails you get per day. Or was that up at the top? Somewhere it said 100. There it is. 100 emails per day forever. So if my emailing service has to be able to send out prompts and receive replies, that means I'm limited to the number of active people that I can have using the application before we hit up against the limits. So I want to put in controls that allow a certain number of trials while we're doing this. My working theory is that after a certain point of time, there will be people who actually do like the service. I enjoy using the service on a regular day. I'm assuming there are other people out there like me. I know that there are other services like this that exist, and I'm guessing they have enough membership to stick around. And those people will convert from a trial user to a paid user. At some point along that path, I'll reach an inflection point where I can switch from being on the free tier to moving up to this Essentials tier at $19 a month. That is a sizable bump in the amount that I'm paying, $0 versus $20 a month, basically. But you can see that it jumps to 100,000 emails. And it's at this stage that I've kind of unlocked the ability that I'm worried about constraints on the number on the email volume that I'm sending out back and forth. But I need to make sure that the application like bootstraps in terms of funding, that I'm not just pouring a bunch of money into it for services that I don't want to pay for or don't have to pay for yet. I'm already paying for the cloud hosting, but since I care about this application and want to be using it, I'm okay with absorbing that cost for now, but I don't really want to pay an additional $20 per month if it's mostly just me at the beginning. So that's why we're going to set this dynamically. All right, so what do we need to do that? There were a couple of options, and I think I recorded it here. Yeah. What we need to do, so we're using Django Allauth to do enforcement of sign up, login, and all of that sort of stuff. And they have an ability to customize that experience and change certain parts of the flow that you have. John, welcome. I have not looked at Django SCS. Is that Amazon's simple email service, or is that what that is? I don't know the rates on that. I've been pretty happy with SendGrid, so I'm not looking to be so miserly that I want to just switch to the cheapest thing, because every one of those things does have switching costs of like how much work do I have to put in, and it's already been long enough that I haven't opened this app up. So I'm going to do this a little bit here and then keep with SendGrid for now. Okay, so we need to add something here, and I think it's this piece right here. It's this is open for sign up is a default function that is the same, and there's the information here. So we have to configure the journal site to use this adapter, and I don't know how to do that, so we got to read a little bit about this page and how to use adapters, and then plug it in, test it, make sure it works. I probably want to put it connected to, I might either hard code it. Yeah, I'll probably hard code it to a certain number of users that I expect. So I want to permit a certain percentage of people to be, or a certain count of people that are in the trialing state. Just from a napkin math point of view, I could probably comfortably do probably 20 or so. Because if you think about it, there's a prompt email that goes out and the emails that come back in. But I know behaviorally how I behave with the app is I'm not always doing it every day. So it's not like I'll do a day like a Saturday where I might do a bunch of my journaling at once and go back and like think through my week and what happened. So I need some ability to have some kind of burstiness, like in the worst case where there's a lot of people trialing and they all decide, you know what, Saturday's the day I want to do it. So I want to be able to not hit up against limits in any kind of extreme scenario like that. So 20 seems like also a reasonable number to get feedback from people too, if we're allowing that. And these trials are not yet, but they will be set up to auto expire after a certain period. So if somebody trials and they're done with a trial, then we can kind of progressively open that that limit and make that available. And as people start converting over into paid, presumably, then we get closer to not needing the limit anymore, and we can just remove this code path entirely. Because that would be ideal. I don't really want to have this extra gate and dynamic lookup stuff. I just want to be open for everybody, but just trying to make sure that I control cost a little bit. So let's take a look at how to set up this adapter, where it needs to go, and there might be some section that we need to do as a pre-read here. So I'm going to read this out loud. I know that's not the most exciting thing, but it sometimes needs to be done. So we're creating and populating user instances, sure. The following adapter methods can be used to intervene in how user instances are created and populated with data. Yes, that's what we want. So there's the Allauth social account adapter, default social account adapter. That's some kind of class. Don't know where we put this. So let's scan through here a little bit. Maybe this is in configuration. Let's bring this up. Aha. Available settings. So there's a setting called social account adapter, and the default is this. So we might need to set our own adapter that maybe subclasses this and then override some behavior. So let's see if that's what they say to do. Customizing providers. So this is Allauth. So this is like if you wanted to do Google sign up or Facebook sign up or any of that kind of stuff. That's what those are considered providers. We are not using any provider stuff currently, so I don't think we need to mess with this. So it's really just this class up here. And we've got this is open for sign up thing that we want to override, I think. The default function returns, that is this, what is this reading? Well, the default function returns, that is the same as account adapter in settings. You can override this method by returning true or false if you want to enable social. Lopez, I'm working on making it possible to control the number of people that are signing up for the app. That's what our focus is here. I don't really understand this language, so let's look up what this account adapter thing is. Is that something specific? Account adapter? There's only that one match, so that doesn't really ring true here. So I'm not sure what they're referring to when they talk about account adapter. Let's do a quick search for that. Okay, it's all in. There is a line in the configuration section, which we're just looking at. We're looking at the advanced usage page. So does account adapter show up multiple times in here? No, just the one. So sometimes the documentation searching features are not great with read the docs. It's okay. Oh. What was I on before? Wasn't I doing social? Oh, this is I'm in the social accounts section. Default social account adapter. Maybe I'm in the wrong area. So before we get ourselves too much in a hole, let's make sure we are getting the right thing. The account adapter specifies the adapter class to use, allowing you to alter certain default behavior. All right, so I think we need to go look at this code, see what it does, and see if that's what we want to be using. So I just jumped over to GitHub. We're now going to jump into this section, and this was Allauth account adapter. Allauth account adapter. And we've got the default account adapter. We're looking for that is method. Was there only is open for sign up? Okay. So I think what we want to do is subclass this thing, set it in the account adapter setting so that we use it, and yeah, that sounds like the right path. And then just override that is method that we just saw. So let's try that. So let's see where I'm at. I still have some stuff up from a while ago. I don't think we need that running for now. Been running since I last streamed 2 weeks ago. And we need to go to our settings file. And we have an Allauth section. I think we do anyway. Django Allauth. The account adapter. Okay, remember, so maybe you don't remember if you weren't here before, but I went through all of these settings exhaustively and checked each one. And we're taking the default, but now we're saying we're not going to take the default. So we need a home for our adapter. And then we need to go fill it out. So I think this should go into our accounts app. That seems like the right home for this. So the journal accounts is account. What was that? Oh, I saw some. Yeah, there it was. Where'd it go? What is going on there? Something is not formatted right in my tooltip stuff. Oh well. Allauth account adapter. We want to import the default account adapter. And I want to have a class, which I'm going to, it's not the default account adapter. Now it's my own custom adapter. I'm going to call it account adapter and make it subclass from the default account adapter. And for the moment, we're just going to make it pass. And then I'm going to come over to this spot. I'm going to, I'll get rid of that comment in a second. I'll say account adapter. And I think it requires, it's a dotted string path right to the place where your stuff is. Yeah. So we want to say journal dot accounts, right? So I think it's plural. Yes. Accounts dot adapter, and then the name of the adapter. All right. So we've got that. Now, with any luck, I'm going to try running my tests, make sure nothing's broken. Yeah, our adapter's not covered now because nothing's importing it. It's part of the configuration of Allauth. I'm a little surprised that, yeah, I'm just a little surprised. What was missed. Huh. We might hit this with our test, but I'm worried about, what am I worried about? I'm worried about, like, is this line gonna be firing? Surely, yeah. Okay, let's just try and get the test we want, or get the code we want, and then we'll backfill it with a test to make sure that there's coverage, and then actually test it out. We can play with the numbers and make sure that it behaves the way that we want it to behave. I think it's going to affect the templates that render on signup too, so we need to be careful with that. Because I think the way this works is somewhere this Boolean check is called is open for signup. Okay. Let's search for this symbol. It's got to be called in a couple of places. And yeah, here's the view. Now I do like social auth or Allauth, but it gets there's a bunch of indirection through here. So it's not my favorite code to go digging through. So it must be using this isOpen thing on some view here, but that's the social account section. Here's the account section. But this is the one we're probably going to use. Let's take a quick peek at this. So isOpen for signup. This is the closable signup mixin, which is part of the signup view. It's a subclass here. It's a mixin class that gives us this signup ability. And I guess if it's opened, then it returns a closed view, which is based on the signup closed template. So you can kind of see where all this indirection stuff goes. It's like layers and layers of like variable names for this, and okay, it's fine, but we just have to go find it. So we're gonna have to implement the account signup closed template. There's even like different template extensions. Like that's just wild. Very robust, I guess. So let's go back to the isOpen for signup, where it's defined over here. I think it just takes a request, I think. Yeah, and it's just returning true. So it's designed to be overridden, is the way to interpret this. So isOpen for signup, and that's going to take a self argument because it's a method, and a request object. And then we want to say limit signup based on the number of active trials. So what I want to do, like I said, I think the number that I'm going to go with is like 20. So we can do, we need the account model. This one, my account model from journal. So journal.accounts.models. Actually, that's in the same area. We don't need to go, we can do a relative import here because we are in the accounts app. So we can say account objects, and then we want to, I specifically want trialing. So before I do this, let's save that chunk of code for a minute. And I don't remember if I added any other. We've got a query set here that's active statuses. So maybe that's really what we want. No, because we specifically want trialing. Okay, so let's add a quick query set here. We'll do trialing. And I've talked in the past of why I add these query set methods, but it amounts to I don't really want to expose the internal details of these calls to outside code. So I don't want to have to say, I mean, if you think about it, like a filter amounts to a where clause in SQL, and I don't want the adapter to have to know the specific where clause that's needed. Instead, I want to do something more semantics of saying like, what's the trialing? And like, if it's implemented some other way, that doesn't really concern the adapter. It's really able to handle that. So we want to do a filter where the status is equal to the trialing status. So that would be self model status trialing, right? Now we have access to that, and it should give us the all of the trialing accounts. We return to the adapter and actually fill this out now. We should be able to say trialing, and we want to do this is where I'm okay doing account. So maybe it's not like a perfect mix here, because I could have phrased this as like account, trials available or something like that. Like putting it into a Boolean, but from that point of view, I think I'd rather have this logic here to say like, why is the decision about is open for sign up available or not? I don't want to have somebody go through another layer to get the answer to what is the Boolean condition. So the condition here for this Boolean seems appropriate to put here, and hopefully that logic is clear. So now we have that adapter. The question is, how can we test this? We could test it. I could fire this up and create 20 separate trial accounts. That's going to be annoying. So instead, what I think I'm going to do is create a test that will try to test this in a loop, and then try to access the sign up page and see where it goes. The question is like, how do I check? What am I going to assert on? What I want to assert on is something about a template that I've not implemented yet, which is fine. We can go add that template and put in the assert later. But it should cause this code path to get triggered to know that we've verified the right thing. So let's go into here and go to our test views. This is an odd one because we're actually, at some level, we're testing. We want to test that Boolean condition, but we don't want to test the view. So actually, maybe I'm convincing myself that we should treat this differently. So instead of this, let's go and find out, make sure that we understand what the constructor is. The constructor can be called without anything. It can optionally take a request, but we don't have to give it a request. So let's do this. Let's create test adapter. Did I name that file adapters or adapt? I did. Shoot. Usually like plural, but there's only going to be one adapter that I need, so it's okay. Let's come in here. Let's create a file, test adapter.py, and we want to see test trials, test sign up open. And here it's when trials are below the limit, sign up is allowed. So in this case, we don't need to create any other accounts. We can just assume it's 0. And so we could call the adapter and create an account adapter. And like that, and just call it. And then assert that adapter is open. Why is it not? Where's my autocomplete? Boo. Is open for signup, takes a request. We don't care about the request, so I can literally pass in a none. It's probably not what I should do, but I'm going to. I'll just say request equals none, so I know that I'm doing something that I probably wouldn't do in other contexts, but it's okay. It's a way to signal to me that that's not an important detail. So we run it, and a bound method. Did I not call it? What's going on? Is open for signup. So we created an adapter. That seems right. LSP is being dumb. That's fine. We created an adapter. And then this should return a Boolean. Okay, that seems right. What was it complaining about? It said something about a bound method. Oh, it's saying it's false. Oh. Because I've got the condition backwards. We want it to be open when there are less than 20 trials. Or 20 trials, not more than. It's a good thing I wrote a test. Okay. And then let's see. Let's do the other side. I'm pretty confident that this will work, but just for the completeness of it, I should have just copied this test. And let's say not. Here's where we need some setup. So we want to say for I in range, and we want to do 20 of these things, and we need to have the status of trialing. I don't know if that might be the default, but I don't remember. So let's bring in the account model, account status, trialing. And it's going to complain, so let's make it an underscore, showing that we don't need it. Okay, so that should also pass. Let's creating 20 accounts. Can't remember if we have other references here that use this pattern. How did we get it before? We have it in this test we just did. And I brought in the account model. Okay, I'm consistent. That's good. Cool. So now I need some kind of clear messaging that, yeah, we need to have that template. So this will be our point at which we can prove that, we can prove what? That we can prove that this is working, that we've wired this all up correctly. Sorry, y'all, not super focused. So maybe to do that, let's bring up a management shell. And I don't typically like doing this, but we're going to try it anyway. And I want to use the factory in the context of my development data. So we're going to say from journal accounts tests factories import account factory. And here, if I do the same code, well, we'll need the model journal accounts models import account. So I want to go through and make another loop of this and create 20 instances of the account factory, or 20 accounts with that status. So status is equal to account.status.trialing. Hopefully this won't blow up in our faces. I don't know why it would necessarily, but we'll find out. Okay. So now we've got 20 accounts here that are trialing. And we should be able to run this. And the account logic creates, I believe it creates a user as a, or it might be the other way around. I might have created, no. The factory, because I didn't provide a user, there's a one-to-one key. We'll go ahead and create some user records. So we should be able to go see in the system And Sippy, I'll get to your question in just a minute. And Andres, welcome. Thanks for coming all the way, or viewing from Colombia. That's cool. So we should be able to see that there are a bunch of accounts in this trialing state, and then when we go and poke at the local site, we should also be able to go to the sign up page and see that it doesn't work, or we'll get the default sign up page that is in the closed state, and that's at the point at which we can go to the template and start customizing. So let's go bring up the admin. What port were we on this time? 5001 still. Localhost, admin, oh, what was it? Token, yeah. And this is Matt at create horse. Oh gosh, I think. Yep. Have I ever done a crazy interview question? Yeah. I've done some crazy interview questions. There's not one that's, it's been, so I've been at my current company for coming up on 6 years. And when I interviewed with this company, it wasn't a crazy question, but I've tried to do the other, like the Google interviews and stuff. And yeah, they throw those questions at you that are like, oh, this is testing my knowledge on algorithms and stuff. I don't enjoy them. I don't seek that kind of thing out. So it's not fun to me. All right, so we got 22 accounts here. And we should be able to now go from a private window, go to our local host, and to take us to Journey inbox. You interviewed at MIT. What does that mean? Like for a job or for to become a student there? I'm curious. So let's look at accounts sign up. All right, here we go. So that's the current sign up experience. That experience stinks. So we need to give people some information here. So thankfully, we should be able to make our template. Let's go to our template section. And the Allauth templates are in this account directory, and I've made this accounts for the templates that are local to my journal app. Oh, senior developer. Senior developer, like, at just part of the school? Like, yeah, I mean, I guess I know, I've got some friends. Actually, my sister-in-law's husband, I don't know if that makes him my brother-in-law, I'm not sure. He works for a University of, no, not University of Florida. FSU. I'm sure he'd get on me if I was wrong about that. So I know that they have, like, obviously many development needs. So maybe it was that. And then I've got other friends that have like worked at school library systems and colleges and stuff. So here's where you're focused in. We got to find out which template this is. So let's go look at the documentation. I think we had that code up, which was pretty close. That's the adapter code. Where were we? We were here, and then we searched for the symbol. We wanted the views, not the social account views, the other views. Here. And that got the is open, but we're going to closed. Template name sign up closed is okay, so it's account sign up closed.html, I guess. So we need to do, let's steal from here. Let's take this guy and do sign up close.html. Paste this in. For the moment, I just want to save it and see if it returns, like if we've overridden it correctly. And then it comes up with the Journey inbox so that we know that we're on the right path. Okay, we are. And then we want to take this stuff out. So this is the normal sign up thing that people would see, assuming the feature flag is on, which it would be. That seems like a weird interview, man. Rate you on everything. That's I don't know. good luck. Hopefully it seems like a place you want to work. Doesn't sound particularly appealing to me, but everybody has their own needs. And yeah, good luck to you. Okay, so we want to say sign up closed. I guess sign up closed. I don't feel great about that, but okay. Migrate their sites. Oh. Interesting. Okay. So we need a paragraph tag here. And we should say journey inbox is currently in beta. Sure, why not? And limits and must limit the number of trialing users. Yeah, that feels right. And then just be honest. Currently, the trial are at the limit. Please check again later. I don't want to scare people away. All right, so that feels good. It's nice and simple in terms of content. Let's take a look at how it looks like. It might look like garbage. So it looks like garbage in that I don't like indefinite amounts of space. So let's set the max width to be 2XL, maybe? Let's see what that looks like. Am I remembering that wrong? Okay. Max width. Do we need to put it in a container? Oh, it's not width, it's W. All right. Max width 2XL. Still looks pretty strange. Let's just try XL. There we go. Got the 2 sentences. Very simple and effective. So now we have dynamically limited the number of trials that will be allowed. So that's good news. And we've got the test to prove it. Let's try running. I think everything should be full coverage here because we ran some explicit tests. Great. So that was not actually too bad of a set of changes. Let's add this stuff. Check the diff, make sure we got everything accounted for. Yeah, good luck, man. Being let go in a layoff period is no fun. So, but if you've got some developer skills, thankfully we're pretty employable in the scheme of things compared to other careers, which is positive. So I wish you luck. All right, we've got our adapter here. We've overridden the method. We've got our new query set method here to pull out stuff that's just in the trialing state. We did run the tests on the adapter, which will exercise both the adapter and the new query set method. That's good. And then we've uncommented that setting and set it to a non-default value. So we're using our custom adapter. In the future, I'd love to go back to using the default and take out that code once because that would be a sign that the site is succeeding, that there's enough people to sustain it, and I don't need to limit it because I'm paying for SendGrid because I've got enough people who want to use the service on a regular basis. We've got the template there, which is very simple. Whoops, I noticed a thing on that we need to fix. It says sign up at the top. We need to say sign up closed. Otherwise, it's good because that's what would show in the tab title. So I think we're good there, and we're ready to commit. And we need to say what? Let's get this out of here now. We can go. This is for number 60. So add dynamic control of the number of allowed trials. And this fixes number 60. Yep. And I'll push that up. So, and Sibby, I'm looking back at your comments. I think that second last comment you made sounds way more sensible to me. Is like, I think so I interview plenty of people. Interviewing is not my favorite thing to do in the world, but I regularly have interviews of candidates for checking everything from the initial coding screens of like, can you do basic coding skills? We don't go crazy on the algorithms on that question, down to the deeper stuff of you're interviewing for a staff level position, and we want to make sure that you have a depth of knowledge and a breadth of knowledge about stuff. And in those interviews, like, yeah, if somebody's a candidate and they have a GitHub profile, then I'm gonna check it and see, like, if you've got nothing on there, it's not like an immediately disqualifier, right? Like, there are people who work in environments where they can't. Maybe they're working on Bitbucket, or maybe they're doing GitLab. So no shade if somebody doesn't have something. But if I'm able to look around me, like, and I can't find any evidence that they have any coding stuff, it does give up a little bit of a red flag to me of saying, do you care about your craft? And not everybody needs to be always coding all the time, but I do find that the best programmers I've worked with at least dabble on the side of, they've got some side projects they're trying, they've got some interesting projects that are just kind of fun. So I look for that as signal too. So that seems reasonable, of looking for some kind of portfolio. And it gives you, like, if I needed to, I could have the ability to go look at their actual code quality. And so that's useful. But yeah, that other one where they're asking you to like rate yourself on everything, that's weird. That's super weird to me. Okay, we've got that done. Let's look at the next bit. I think we needed a login template, is what this last chunk was in here. So if we fire up the site again, so we've got that loaded, and now we go to localhost. I probably need a sign out page somewhere or a link to it, but I'm not going to put that in right now. And we say accounts log out. It logs me out here. Yeah, we definitely want to do this via a form post, because this is like there's technically log out is like should be a post request from the point of view of Allauth, because it's got data that it needs to modify. And if you read about get versus post, of like what method should you use, you shouldn't have get have side effects. So the Allauth team takes that to heart, and they make it so that their sign out process, or maybe this is even Django now, I don't remember. The sign out process can't just use a get request. I think there's a way you could configure that, but it's not recommended. And so what you would do as a sign up link, like if we went to the school desk, my other project, and checked out the sign out button, which is kind of put on the bottom of the page, you see it's actually submit. What it really is a submit link to a small hidden form that does a post request to the logout page. That way you don't get redirected to this like confirmation page. Are you sure you want to sign out? That's sort of strange. That's a very weird question. Is there anything you'd rate yourself a 10? Like, what? Strange. Okay, so let's look at the accounts login page and see how we can style that. So you can see, I'm going to refresh this to get rid of the flash message. I don't want to, I'm not sure what I want to call this. I think I called it login on School Desk. So let's take a look at that for a second. Yeah, login feels more natural to me than sign in. I don't know. Maybe it's a stupid preference. Or maybe it's the fact that the URL is going to be login no matter what. So, and not sign in. And it bothered, I think that was what, yeah, that must be what it is. Because like, look at the default template here is called sign in, but the URL is called login. And that, that mismatch just felt wrong to me. So I'm not going to do that. But what we do need to do is get the form kind of data in here. Let's view the page source. What we really care about is, so there's the links at the top. We don't care about those. We care about this form, right? I'm going to take the form and I'm going to copy it. And then this is the, oh man, is this the sign? Okay, let's just look at the homeschool app because I know I've overridden this template there too. So templates, account, what is this? Account, login. All right, the login page. Let's come back over here and we are in account already. So let's create the login page, login.html, save it, and we'll go to, and this is why I copied that stuff because as soon as I do a refresh now, that page is gone. So I want to take the sign up content, just like we did with the other one, and we'll quickly yank all that, put it here so it extends and looks like our stuff. And then we can change this to log in. And then I'm going to do a paste of the form. And we'll start from there. Yeah, we'll start from there. Delete. Well, I'm not going to delete it all. Let's keep the H1. Let's indent that tag. Can I format this too? I should be able to. Okay, format it in a weird way. Log in. We've got that. Now I think and then we can steal the CSRF token. So that's what this input is. It's really the CSRF token rendered. So we drop that here and delete this hidden input. They've got this wrapped in paragraph tags. I don't know that we would need that. And it's also, the spacing is wonky. Why did that format that way? Okay, we'll poke around with this stuff for a little bit. There's probably better ways to do this too, but that's okay. I'm not going to deal with the forgot. Should I deal with the forgot password stuff? Because we could send people to. I don't really want to deal with support requests for that. Let's see how it looks, I guess. And then we need to also change the path to it because I don't want to have the hard-coded path like that. Same with the stuff at the top. Like that needs to turn into URL things. Okay. So now we've got our form. Let's see how it looks. Refresh. Looks like junk, but that's fine. Let's take the sign up page and the button styling that we have down here somewhere. So we've got an input that we can use as an alternative. And we want to change this to be log in instead of that. Okay, now we've got the login. Cool. And that's not in a paragraph. They've got these things in divs. So I want to use divs instead of paragraphs. And then we'll do a div here, div there, here a div, there a div, everywhere a div. All right, that's gonna get us this. That's closer. We don't have a site style yet for what links are gonna look like. So this is coming out just as black text, but not really what we want. But one thing at a time. We've got the sign up page has email. Did I not put labels by these? What did I do? Hold on. What does sign up look like? Oh, gosh. Whoops. Shoot. Let's go delete some of those accounts. I don't want to, I do want to look up sign up. So what? We can do, let's do a private tab, localhost token admin. I mean, it's possible that I didn't put any kind of labels by them and I just left them as the placeholders. Be a little strange, but okay. We just need to delete enough of these that it'll be less than 20. So 5 of it should do. And then I want to delete them. Go. Yes. All right. That should be enough to get us back to the right page. Okay. Yeah, wow. I totally left them completely blank. That was dumb. So yes, we should add some labels over here as well. And it should be the same kind of labels that are on this. This is the, so labels, from an accessibility point of view, labels are connected via the ID. So if you say for, then it connects to whatever the ID is. So I want to say, and I don't know why I'm not going to even question why they're calling it login. That's not for me to figure out right now. But we can say ID email here, and then put ID equal ID email. Let's go, I guess we'll go ahead and correct this so this makes some sense. And I really don't care. So I'm going to do a break right here because I don't want, well, that's, no, not, never mind. Let's do a little bit of styling. We can do, what is this? Inline block, will that work? Inline block, I think, will cause a wrap. Nope, it won't. Block? Block. And then we can do a little bit of margin underneath it, so like an MB2. Okay, that's good enough. And then down here, I don't like hyphenated email. Like it's just, I think there's even like an AP style for how you spell email, and I think they gave up on AP style email spelling. It's email, but use a hyphen in other e terms. Okay, so let's follow the AP here. Just call it email. There we go. And we'll do password on this one. ID password. And then ID password. Now, setting the ID shouldn't have any impact on the actual form submission. What the form is going to submit is the name attribute. So we're really just adding extra metadata that helps the HTML page. There's really no concern there. And then I guess we can bring these labels back over now that they've got the little bit of styling on them, which should help with how they look to add some consistency between the different sections. And for complete consistency, I'm going to make these divs as well. Everything's a div. We don't need paragraphs for these. We're not writing prose. So let's check out the sign up page now. And maybe let's put a little bit of spacing. Let's try MB4 between the password fields and the sign up button. That gives like a nice little bit of symmetry between where the form is and the terms and conditions text down here, the click wrap stuff. Although looking at this now, I think I want to tighten this up. The email and password, they feel too far away. So let's switch this to 1, see how it looks. I think that's going to be, yeah, it feels just a little bit tighter. That's feeling pretty good. Over here, we want the same kind of thing. I want to say class equal MB4. And let's do a 1 and a 1. In the future, we might do some work to make some standard form controls such that we wouldn't have to do this kind of customization on forms anymore. But again, we're trying to be scrappy and get something going. And I don't think there are going to be a lot of forms on the site, so we may never want that level of extra stuff, which would be totally fine. So the sign up page looks like this. And then now we want to go to the login page. Login looks like that. So clearly there's still more work to do. We've got there's no class set on this, so we'll do that with class equal border MB2 to follow suit with the sign up page. Oh, okay. Well, let's get rid of the preview, the placeholder text. It's not telling us anything that the label is not telling us. Yeah, I don't think I want that. Nice and super clean. Otherwise, it's just repetitive. It just says password, password. Okay, no kidding. Okay, and then we need a class on this one as well. Class equal border MB2. Okay. I don't know why the forgot password is above the login button. That doesn't make a lick of sense to me. So I'm going to put it below like this. And we'll do class equal MB6. That should work to push this down. Okay. And for the moment, I don't know, let's try a color. Let's see. Yeah, Yeah, it's not a button and not a secondary action. That's from some other system. So let's try, it's not background. Is it text color? Text, lime 800. But is that good? The challenge is like with a background color, it has enough volume to it to make that work. But when you have it as a text color on a white background, then I think it loses some of that legibility, frankly. So let's poke around briefly with some colors. Let's look at the color. Let's see, text color. And I think what we'll want to do is pick a darker lime. So we used lime as our set, and we had 800 here, but I think we want like either 900 or maybe even 950. Just be super subtle about it. Let's try 900. See how that looks. Yeah, it's still green. And maybe we should throw in an underline to show that it's like linked text. Yeah, that feels right. So very, very simple. We could do, I don't know. Did we do a hover on these other things? Is there a hover anywhere? We did hover brightness 110. Okay, let's try that on linked text, see what that does. Hover brightness 110. So that's like not setting a specific color, but just elevating the brightness by a certain amount. I don't even notice it. Maybe that didn't work. Maybe it doesn't work for text. My eye just not even seeing it. Let's check the brightness thing. Whoops, wrong area. Brightness. Let's try an extreme one of like 150 or something. See if anything's working. Because it could either be super subtle or it's not working. One of those two things. Okay, that's definitely doing something. And that feels better. The other one I couldn't even tell. Not that my eyes are crazy good as a designer, but this is like noticeable and feels like the right amount of color change. Now this is going to take us to a junky route. I'm not going to fix this right now. Not a priority. And hopefully that does, oh gosh, there's another vector where that could be abused because there could be some processing and might send out emails for that. I don't know. Maybe hopefully it only tries to send if it's a known account email address and then just otherwise ignores it because there's a security risk there potentially if it's just sending out a bunch of emails. All right, so we've got a login. I should at least test the login. We use the same login page or login form from the Allauth itself, so I'm pretty confident in it, but we should still test it. And then we need to set a couple of URLs here. Login. I thought I've used the URL bit somewhere. Maybe not. It's one of a few forms, so let's try a couple. So it's URL accounts login as one thing, or it's a namespace thing, or it's account login. All right, it wasn't that one. So are they going to tell me all the routes? Or if they are, they're not obviously in here. Gotta be careful. There's maybe secrets in there that I don't want to be showing off. Okay, it's not that one. It might be account login. There it is, account login. And then, and I'm not going to be able to guess the other one though. So let's go to here. Let's look at URLs and see if we can find whatever the reset one is. Reset? Nope. Password? Nope. Thanks, guys. Count. URL's got to be in here. Reset. Reset. Account reset password. Now, the chance of me ever changing this is basically 0, but just in case, account reset password. Okay. Going back to this, we can refresh. Still, it didn't blow up on us, so it's working. That's good news. I think we can get rid of the school desk here and that Google search. I don't remember. I'm still logged in this private window as my Matt account. I don't remember what email address I did for Matt. So let's go check out what the email is. matt@testing.com. So we can, and the password is create horse. That's just something that I mean, you can read that on the README. It's just developer data, so it's not something I'm trying to hide. So we've got matt@testing.com and then create horse. Submit. Oh, boo. It didn't work. That's not good. Let's watch on the console, see what we did wrong. Matt. The other problem we could have, I bet okay. Create horse. There we go. Oh, it's an unconfirmed. All right, I gotta go confirm in the admin. I must have typed it wrong before, and this one's not verified. So let's mark this as verified. This would be the path. Like the normal sign-up process will send you a link that does an email verification, and you can see that we tested that out in a couple of these. So we have proved that that path works. I guess it also sets it as primary. So let me do that as well, just so that I'm kind of matching. Because some of these, probably this last one where it has both of these, testing 6 is where we were testing out whether the email verification stuff worked. So if we leave now and go back to this, okay, stinks that we don't have that confirm email thing, but that shouldn't ever pop up, assuming that somebody, well, okay, I shouldn't say that. It's possible that that would pop up. So let's try here. All right, cool. We are now logged in, and we've got just the account, activate your account option. Now, maybe we should say something here on this main page. Because this is also the page where someone, if they sign up, will also be dumped to, and might be like, what the heck? So I should give them something to see, at least a paragraph saying, hey, here's what's going on. But I've got the confidence that the login page works and is in an appropriate style. I'm happy enough with it for now. So let's go to, where do we want to go? We want to go to the index template for the authenticated index. And we've got this activate button, but I want to put a paragraph right here that says, hello. Hello. I don't have their username. I just have an email address, so I can't say hello Matt or anything like that because that's not going to exist. Welcome to Journey Inbox. I'll personalize it. I am still working on the user interface, but you should be receiving emails if your trial is active. Sure. And then we can end that and do another paragraph and say, thanks for using Journey Inbox. Please message me on X if you have questions. And let's see, we could do at MB Lehman. That's my Twitter. And then we can do one final paragraph that says, Matt Lehman, Journey Inbox. I don't want to use founder. Seems kind of lame. Let's say creator. Okay. I'm sure that looks like junk. We'll fix it. So let's wrap the whole thing in a div where we do class equals max width XL. That seemed to be an okay size before. That gets us that. And then we can also give that some spacing of, let's give ourselves some space with the button so we're not like right on top of the button. Really? Why did that not give us spacing? Margin bottom 4. What? Huh? Oh, the button's not in a div. All right. So it's just a free-floating button, which means it's not doing block layout. If we do that, what? Why are you thinking that the button is inside? Did I not close something properly? Div. I must not have closed something properly. Oh, yeah, I didn't. I put a paragraph instead of a... All right, that was my fault. Okay, so we've got that. And I think we still need these divs. Let me check. Nope. All right, so don't bother with the div. And we can do class equal MB2. I want to put that hello on a separate line. All right, cool. Hey, David, thanks for the good vibes, man. Appreciate it. Hopefully people are learning stuff here. I know this is just template stuff, and not the most exciting bit of code to do, but it's vital in order to like make an experience that's at least comprehensible. Like I'm trying to. They say, what do they say? People will say that if you push out a product that, well, how's the phrase go? If you release a product that you're not proud of, no, that's not the phrasing. I'm screwing it up. There's some slogan about a minimum viable product that it shouldn't be perfect. Like the point is to get it out there. And if it is, if you're content with it, it means you didn't push yourself hard enough. And this is definitely a case where there's like corners on this thing that I am not thrilled about the way some of these pieces are right now. And that's supposed to be okay. Like you have to be comfortable with like having an imperfect experience. And I've already spent a lot of time, I mean months at this point, trying to get this service up and running. So that's where we're at. Let's send people to Twitter, I guess. Twitter.com MB Layman, so they can know where they go, and then we'll say target equal blank, so it doesn't open on that tab, and then end it. And we need to, hey Buzzmixer, thanks for subscribing, appreciate it. Let's put a class on here. And what was our class before? We had that on, it was on the login page, right? Login, oh boo, where is it? Login, there it is. So we want all of this stuff. So yank inside quotes, paste it over here. And all right, now we've got a link. We click it. Hopefully it takes me to the right spot. Yep, that's me. So people can get some ability to contact me. Like this is basically poor man's support channel right now. And that's fine. So now let's talk for a moment. So we have a login page. It brings them to this spot. There's no user interface yet. There will be a user interface here where we show probably the most recent journal entry that they've done, and then give navigation abilities to go between other entries from their past. One of the things that, like, I'm using a service today that does something similar, but effectively they did it by having a pagination view. Theirs was the service that I used was implemented in Rails, so it paginates, and every entry is a page, which I find strange. So we're not going to do that. We will probably have some kind of URL dating, because the other aspect of this pagination scheme is it's impossible to say what did I do, what did I write on 2018 in October the 16th. Like, knowing that I'm consistently writing and I've been writing for years, I should be able to like navigate directly to that page if I wanted to. So we're going to put in controls that will not do pagination based on numbering. It'll be some date-based pagination that will allow you to jump to an entry that you have if that date matches. It'll be something like 2024/3/6/, and that would take you to the right page. And then there'll be supporting navigation to let you jump between months and years, so that you can quickly review your stuff. That will be a difference. One of the plans for this project is that I'm hoping to invest more in the user interface. Now, I've never said, I don't think I've ever in any of these streams said what other service I'm using to. I don't want to, and the reason I haven't stated what the service is because I had reliability issues with them at one point. I don't want to throw shade their way. It has been historically a fine product, but this is more about like building for something for myself now. So I'm not gonna like go dump on them because they've been good stewards of that for the most part for many years. So we're now in a spot where I think we have everything we need. We have a promise to improve the user interface. That's something I definitely will be doing. The basic mechanisms should work for anybody who wants to use them. We have the login pages, the sign up pages, the activation stuff that connects to Stripe. That's all should be good as well. It's not a clean experience, and there's lots of rough corners that I want to get right. But I think all of the required elements are there. Maybe as one more last little tweak here, let's see if we change this to be a break and have this more of it's like a signature rather. Okay, that feels pretty good. So where does that leave us with what we have here? We've got our login page. We've updated the sign up page to actually say the fields that you need. It's an email and a password. And then we've got that messaging on the index page. That's all goodness. So let's commit this stuff. This is the last step of this setup auth. Oh, it's issue number 1. Hooray. It feels fitting that we're completing issue 1 right before we're getting ready to deploy. So add a login template. Yep. We're going to push that up and check the box. I think I didn't mark it as associated with this. That's fine. And I think I'm going to close that issue. So what's left? Do an end-to-end test. Okay. All right, y'all, let's do it. We got to do some configuration. So goal, I want to get this site deployed live. I want it so that you could conceivably, by the end of this stream, sign up for the service. I would ask that sign up for the service you're actually going to use it, not just if you want to poke around with it. And again, maybe some of you joined. I did start earlier and was describing what it was, but maybe you'd never been here before. It's a journaling service. It's a journaling service that works via email. It will email you every day a prompt that says, basically, how was your day? And you respond, and that's your journal entry for the day, whatever your response is. And that gets captured in the database, and it keeps that record of your journal entries. I'm very privacy conscious in this matter. I don't have any interest in looking at your data. So there's like a certain something we will be improving about this on the login, the unauthenticated page is talking about exactly that. Like I want confidence that I don't want to look at this data. We might even do things that help. Like if I ever needed to help somebody debug their journal entries, maybe I would add some privacy controls that kind of blur out or use the star text of all of their content. So I have no idea what they wrote. Well, that'll be later. So if the hook though, what's interesting about the service and why I've used a service like this for nearly 10 years. It's a long time. And what keeps me coming back is that when you get the prompt, the daily prompt, you get your previous message or a random previous entry. So if you were having a great day and you had it 2 years ago, like birth of my child, and like here's all my feelings about it, you get that reminder of what that day was like. I also have journal entries where I've had loved ones that have passed away, and I'm reminiscing about them. So you get kind of and it doesn't have to be always emotional, of course. It's whatever you think about writing. Sometimes it's just like, here's what I did today, and that's fine. But you just get periodic reminders of, oh, I forgot that I did that years ago. And that's what I find so valuable about journaling. So we're going to put the site up live. There's going to be some configuration that has to go. There's a bunch of pieces that are missing. I'm going to have to flip back and forth between secret screens here because I've got to put these parts on here, and we're probably not going to know until they fail of what's still missing because it's been a while since I've deployed. But I think everything is ready. So let's check on the code, make sure that tests have passed. Yeah, tests seem to have passed. So I think we're in good shape and we're ready to go. So my deployment process is going to have me log into Heroku, and I have to, yeah, I'm going to have to log in. So let me put on my secret screen. I'll talk through this is what I'm doing. And I'm going to Heroku.com, which is where I deploy my stuff. And I can't seem to type the page name properly. That's my fault. So dashboard.heroku.com, sending me to a login page. And I need to unlock one password. Nope, that's not it. Yep. I am Batman. Yeah. I am not very exciting. I need a really cool secret screen, but sadly I don't have one. So it's asking me for my two-factor authentication, which I will do in just a moment. 2FA, where are you? Okay, Heroku. Plug that in. And all right, so I'm logged in on the site. I doubt I'm logged in on the command line. So what I'm doing now is I've got a makefile target called make deploy, and I'm going to run that. And oh, good, it's just going to go. And hopefully it doesn't. I gotta be careful for this. Nope, it didn't go. It was asking me for a login. So I'm going to type Heroku login. I have a Heroku command line tool, and it might ask me to log in again. And it is doing the dance again. Thankfully, I just authenticated, so that completed. And that's where it's dumping out my personal email address right on the terminal. So that's why I'm glad I had the secret screen up. But now I'm going to do make deploy. And at this point, I should hopefully be able to show the screen. Okay, I'm back. So we're doing the deploy of all this code change. I expect this to fail because there's configuration that we added that is not available in the secrets on Heroku. Heroku expects that to exist. So there's going to be stuff about this that we might need to try the deploy a few times until we get all the settings in there. So this will be it'll do this compilation step, but yeah, exactly. There's what I was expecting to see. So we need to set a DJ Stripe webhook secret. This, I believe, is a secret that we will configure. Okay, the DJ Stripe webhook secret is something that it needs to be on two sides. It needs to be on Stripe. So Stripe needs the webhook secret to know like what to call, and then we need it in the app to know like what to basically publish. It's essentially the security layer for the webhook. Let me look at your question here, David. Do I have a lot in the pipeline? So I've done. The answer is kind of maybe yes, maybe no. I have another project. I have a homeschool application that my kids are homeschooled, and my wife does that in our home. She does a huge amount of work, and I built an application for her that helps with the scheduling. I built it in exactly the way she wants it, and she's been using it for 4 years now. If you're all like poking at my channel and you look at the Building SaaS playlist, the first half of them probably are all about. Well, that's not true. There was another project before that. So the very earliest stuff is about college consulting. That was her previous profession. She was a college advisor. She did help kids with the SAT, ACT prep, getting into colleges and stuff like that. I was building an app for her there. That one never got off the ground. So that was a crash and burn experience. I actually wrote about it on my website at mattlehman.com. I think it's called failed SaaS postmortem or something. You can search around for it, and I'm sure you would encounter it. I learned a lot of good lessons from that one, and what definitely not to do. And so I took that knowledge and built another product again for my wife. My first mission was like build something useful for her. So I built the homeschool app and got that working, but I also got it configured so that other users could use it. So I have not a lot of users. There's probably, I don't know, a handful, 2, 3 other active users who are out there trying it. But it has a process where you can sign up, and just like we did the Stripe flow here on this project, people can subscribe to that. So I've got some happy users there that write me some questions, and maybe someday after this gets to a steady state, we'll return to the homeschool app and spruce it up. There's some things I want to do. I don't, with that project, commit to doing every line of code on the stream like I do with this one. So that's the difference with that one. So that project, if you go back and look at the earliest stuff, there were some big jumps early on because I like rushed to get something that would work well for her, so that she could actually use it. One of my big lessons from my first project is that I took too long to get to a fit where she could use the application, so she never did. And I lost her interest on that particular app. The homeschool app was not that way. I rushed to get something usable, and then she started using it, and then now I think enjoys what it does for our family. Since I'm building an app for me in this context, like it was a replacement service for something that I was using, it was less important to get it on a timeline, and that's why I'm taking this one a little bit slower and are able to do every line of development while streaming. So that's kind of my story. Trying to remember if I've done some other little projects here and there with Django, but they haven't been like SaaS products that are available for sale. It's really just the 3. Okay, so we've got our deployment failed. We need to get a DJ Stripe webhook. I need to remember where to set that on Stripe. So I think we're gonna have to log into Stripe. I think what we need. Okay, no, I don't remember. So hold on, let me poke at some stuff. Let's look at the env sample. Did I put the webhook in here? No, I didn't put the real one. So it might have been one where it's like a colon separated thing. So I'm going to put the secrets back on. I'm going to look at my local env file. Oh, that one doesn't have it either. Okay, great. All right. Let's go read up on it then, because I forgot. So let's look for DJ Stripe. DJ Stripe. Come on. DJ Stripe. Has a dash in it. Of course it does. What is this? Take me to documentation. Did they must have changed. This is a recent thing. I think it is. I don't remember looking at this theme. It's an interesting theme. It's purple, I think. My flux is like making it hard to see. What color is it really? Whoa. It's neon. Okay. That's tough. Tough on the eyes. Sorry. Okay, DJ Stripe webhook secret. Something provided by Stripe. Get it in the section in the Stripe dashboard where you've added your webhook endpoint. Okay. That's good to know. So let's go to Stripe. And this, I do need to punch in my secret stuff. I'm going to sign in. It's going to ask me for the account information, probably some 2FA here. And yeah, we're in test mode. So once I find the spot, I'll show this off a little bit more. Oh, come on. Connect? No, that's not connect. This is like a developer setting thing, I'm pretty sure. Settings. Develop. Oh, there's a button at the top called developers. Ah, that's where I should have gone. Okay. Let me bring this back. It's safe for me to show this right now because you can see I'm in Journey Inbox. It doesn't show any other sensitive data. And importantly, we're in test mode. So there's nothing secretive here. I've gone to the developer section. I've on the web hooks. And I'm going to click an end. I think this is what we need is an endpoint. And I can't remember what the endpoint will be. We'll have to check the documentation here. Usage. The webhook user URL. We got to plug something into Stripe. And I don't remember what it is. Getting started. Installation. Install. So it's going to be Stripe webhook, I think. All right, we can confirm this with manage show URLs, I think. So we should be able to see Stripe webhook, ending with a slash. That's weird. I saw that in their documentation. That struck me as strange that they didn't end with a slash. Like Django sites typically end with slash for everything. So kind of weird that they have that in their docs that way. All right, so we're going to come over to here. And the challenge is, there's a bit of a chicken and an egg problem here of like, I don't know that we've deployed since we've added all this stuff. I don't know if the webhook thing is going to try and validate that it's a valid URL or not. So it's possible that it's going to get like a response that doesn't exist because we haven't deployed and have the webhook actually available. So let's add it and see what it says. So what we're going to ultimately have is we want https://journey inbox, right? It's the official site is journeyinbox.com. There's nothing here right now. journeyinbox.com/stripe/webhook. We don't need an optional description. We could select which events we want to do, but I think we want to be sending all of the events to the webhook right now. And yeah, hopefully this, because we're just in a test environment, so I don't think I'm sharing anything sensitive at the moment. If I am, I'll delete it and we'll go create a new one because I can't have my webhook secret. Like again, I want this to be secure because having this not secure means that I leak privacy and like nobody's going to trust me to sign up for stuff. So it's important to get this right, especially when I'm doing this in public. So let's go here. I must select events. Okay, select events. Your endpoint will listen for all event types that currently exist, but will not automatically. Okay, fine. Wow, fun. So there's a bunch of different kinds of events. I probably don't need like a huge amount of them, but also my app won't be generating a huge amount of them because I'm only using a very narrow set of the functionality from Stripe. So it's not a big deal if I'm creating these extra events because they shouldn't be doing anything. So we'll say add events, and then we'll come down to the bottom. Importantly, I want to look for the checkout. Checkout. Yep, checkout session completed. That one's vital. This is probably the most vital event on here. It's like that's what happens when we go through checkout and somebody decides to pay. All right, so we now have that, and we can say add the endpoint. Signing secret. I think I might need to expire this or delete it. All right, so you saw the process. I think what I'm not confident of is like this webhook will probably work for either testing mode or the production mode. Well, here, let me do this actually. If the webhook, if this thing changes, now that might be the webhook ID. I'm going to put it on secret mode for a minute and see if I see some different config stuff. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking the menu underneath the webhook ID that we saw, and it's taking me to a page where I can reselect the events. So that's not helpful. So there is something listed here as a signing secret. Maybe that's the webhook secret. Aha. So this does look like that format that we saw on the DJ Stripe site, where it started with WHSEC, and then there's a long identifier, which I'm of course not going to read out. I'm going to switch over to the production mode and see if that webhook secret is different. Don't know that it will be. Interesting. So when I switched over to the webhook, haha, I wasn't in test mode. Yikes. Okay, the test mode toggle had me fooled on, I thought it was, the toggle was switched over next to test mode, and I thought that meant it was pointing at test mode, and that flipping it to the other direction would like switch it to production mode, but I was wrong. So we were looking at my live production thing, but I think that's okay because I didn't actually show you, I showed you the ID for the webhook, but you can't do anything with that. What I really need is the signing secret. So there's a button that says signing secret, which I can reveal, and I can copy this value. And I'm just going to talk through this bit. I'm going to go over to Heroku, and I'm going to go to Journey Inbox. Journey Inbox has a settings section, and it's a tab, the last tab in Heroku, and there's something that says config vars, which I'm going to click, and I need to now add a new config var. And so the value is the thing I'm going to paste, and then I need to get the key exactly as it appeared in the error message so that I don't get it wrong. So it's DJ Stripe webhook secret. I'm going to add that to the system and then hide the config vars. And I think once I've done that, I can show this to you all in a minute. So I'm going to get out of the webhook area. I've got a publishable live key. So this is, I'm trying to see. I'm now realizing that I'm in production mode, so I need to be super careful. So, okay, I think I can show this without any problem. So here we are in Stripe's section, and we've got our data here. I've moved away from the webhook secret, and over on Heroku, I clicked on Journey Inbox. That's this settings tab. This is where we're adding configuration variables. These are essentially environment variables that we need to run. So this will, now we have that secret set, so that portion of the process should be done. I'm going to do a deploy. The way I'm going to handle this is I know that there are some settings that are just required, and they will fail if they're not present. So I am going to add them just by following the failures that come about from trying to deploy. So let's try to deploy again, see what the next thing that we're missing is that we can go fill in. Now, because the last deploy failed, it might want to rebuild the packages again. Maybe it'll do a cache, I don't know. Yeah, so it's clearing the cache because it detected a change. So it only persists the cache if the deploy was successful, I think. So we're going to deal with a handful of unsuccessful deploys. We might see this message a couple times. Thankfully, it's not super, super slow, but I think it's bearable. And it's going to build the actual artifact. And eventually, it will give us a message saying like, hey, you're missing some stuff. This should fail because we don't, at the very least, we're missing Stripe keys. Really? Wrapping process to this, I can't remember. We did this locally. I think I had to set a key. And then once I set the key, then I could go do the API call to get the other keys. Because there's keys that are stored. Is that how I did it? I don't remember. Should have written this down. Maybe I did write it down. Did I write it down? Docs, settings variables. But they move that stuff to be in the database. So there's an aspect here where I'm going to need to pull the stuff in the admin until I look at it and inspect it. And I've not done any admin poking here. So let me do a Heroku. All right, I think it shows my email. So I'm going to go back to secrets. And from the command line, what I'm doing is going into a shell, a Heroku shell. So I'm going to do Heroku run bash. I'm going to fire up a little local worker that'll log me in and connect me to the box. And it may not show, okay, maybe it didn't show an ID, but that's good news. And then I can do manage, and I'm in a production environment now, so I got to be careful of the kinds of actions that I take. So I'm going to open up manage.py shell plus. And that's going to import all the models and things. And so what I need to find is the actual DJ Stripe models, the API keys. So there's an API key model type, and I'm going to do a count on how many are there. And it says 0, which is what I would expect. Because in order for the site to operate, I need to pull the price object from this. But in order to do that, I have to be able to pull an API key or set an API key from there. So I think what I need to do is look at my settings. And in my settings, I have the token that I'm using for the admin. What did I call it? Token? Yeah, I called it admin URL path token. So that's going to dump out for me. What you can't see is an identifier of some kind, which I don't really want to describe. So what I'm going to do is go in a private window. I'm going to go to Journey Inbox. I'm going to go to the admin that's scoped by this token. And of course, I'm doing this privately, so I don't have access to the account right away. So I've got to copy some passwords from 1Password. What a dance. Sorry, this is like not something I can show well. All right. So I'm over here now in the Django admin. And I'll continue to talk through this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go to the DJ Stripe section. I'm going to go to the API keys section. And I'm going to go to the add an API key. For handling this, I'm now going to go back to the Stripe interface. I'm not in test mode. I'm going to copy Wow, interesting. Stripe is giving me this crazy warning that says this key can only be revealed once to keep your account secure. If you lose it, you must replace the key or create a new one. All right, that's, and I can't, oh wow. I don't have any recourse except to reveal it. Whoa, okay. So I better capture this properly right now. So it's asking me to do a two-factor authentication to do this. I'm glad that it's this secure. It's a little bit of hoop jumping, but you know, when you're dealing with money, it would be good to make it a little annoying. Oops, I'm doing the wrong 2FA. No wonder it's failing on me. Okay. And so I've got the key copied to my clipboard. I'm going to go over to the admin and paste in the value. And I'm going to give the key a name. And I guess I'll just call it production live. I don't know. And save it. So it correctly detected that it's a secret key, and it's got the account that it's associated with. That's all good. All right. While I'm here, I remember there's something else we need to set, and that's the sites framework. The sites framework is used to identify the domain that will be used when creating a full URL. So when we do the redirects from Stripe back to the Journey inbox, we need to set this properly. So it currently says example.com. So I'm going to change that to journeyinbox.com on both the domain name and the display name values. And again, I can't really show this because it's my admin is a sensitive path. But we've done this. There have been previous streams where we've messed around with the sites framework as we're testing Stripe, so you can go check out past streams if you want to go to see that. All right, so I think I want to double check one last time that I have the API key before I leave this, because Stripe will not give me another chance to go look at it. I want to make sure it's firmly captured in my database with the value that I expect to see. It looks correct, so I'm going to close this screen. So it's now locked away. I can never see my secret key again. Okay. So from here, I can go to, I can get off this screen so I don't show this by mistake. So I'm going to click somewhere else, and I'm going to go to the terminal and clear out what is on my terminal. All right, so now, now that I've loaded a secret key, I should be able to run a management command that is for Stripe. So